Here we have ample evidence you can have it all. Ample performance and enough seats to prove it to a bunch of your friends. And behind their combined 8 passenger doors, a whole bunch of great tech. Let's drive the 2012 Audi A7 and the BMW 640i Gran Coupe, a 2013, and check the tech. Is a clean sheet design with an amazingly spacious cargo bay thanks to a hatchback, which Americans normally run from. The BMW plays it a little safer with a conventional trunk, little less cargo space, but fortunately that trunk no longer hides under a bangle butt, that humongous mono buttock that BMW's had till about 2 years ago. In fact, I'll go so far as to say I think the Gran Coupe is the better looking of the two, and that's saying something, because the A7 is no slouch. The other key positioning difference is the BMW Gran Coupe has got a green message. It's got regenerative braking, like a hybrid, though it isn't one, and auto start-stop, which is kind of rare in these kind of cars. Rather different religion lives under the hood on these two cars. Both are 3 liters, both have 6 cylinders. Then they go like this. The Audi is a V6, direct injection, all the usual variable valve timing, supercharger in this case, 8-speed automatic, same as the BMW. All-wheel drive's the only way you can get it. It's an Audi after all. Now the BMW goes for an inline 6. It's a BMW after all. Again, 3 liters, but a twin-power, twin-scroll, single turbo. And the turbocharger, of course, a very different power curve than a supercharger. 8-speed automatic, rear-wheel drive only at this point. Let's stack up the numbers between these two. On the horsepower, 310 here on the Audi, 315 on the Beamer, a little bit better. 325 is the torque number on the Audi, 330 on the BMW. They get real similar on 0 to 60, 5.4, 5.4, and both cars weigh 4,200 pounds. Now the MPG story is interesting. 1828 for the Audi, 2030 on the Beamer. Let's compare the cabin tech. First off, neither car has a touchscreen. That's apparently a German thing. No greasy Fingerabdrücke. BMW has an app to put Facebook, Twitter, and web radio on the main screen, but it's iPhone only after almost 2 years on the market. The navigation rig can access live Google search via a built-in 3G connection. Audi takes roughly the same Google integration and then raises the stake to include live Google Earth imagery as one of its views. That's pretty cool. Screen is 10 inches wide, but kind of short. The Audi screen is 8 inches large, but more square. I prefer how Audi can span the navigation across that display as well as the center LCD between the gauges for what I think is the best navigation command center in the biz. Both cars use 3G as their built-in data connection, but will soon be a step behind your $200 smartphone as 4G rolls out. Audi goes so far as to let you switch on a Wi-Fi hotspot in the car, but you're still sharing that single 3G connection between the in-dash tech and a passenger or two. These cars offer just about every form of mobile media you'd want, as well as a couple you probably don't, like hard drive and SD card. But the Audi makes one serious screw-up by omitting Bluetooth streaming. You know, that technology that some Kias, 1/3 its price, have? Both these cars proffer an image of serious performance. So off the road and onto the same tight track where the PCA Redwood region holds its Porsche autocrosses. One of the first things you notice about driving this supercharged engine is that it's a supercharger. There is really no perceptible delay in that onrush of power, and it's a big boost when you get it. There's also this all-wheel drive. All 4 paws are gripping. Once you get the feel of that, and Audi's Quattro is the best, you realize this car really knows how to vector itself in around corners. There's also a little bit of kind of drumming and thrumming of the chassis. I'm getting a little bit of the sound of parts moving in the undercarriage, which is not my favorite sound. But I don't believe that this car is built to be pressed as hard as a BMW of similar caliber. It also tends to do everyday driving a little more refinedly, I think. Okay, let's go for a ride in our Gran Coupe. Now you can really feel the fact you've got rear-wheel drive. Steering with the accelerator is not difficult at all. The car feels its weight. I don't think this is a car that feels like it's going to fool you, that it's a big car, but a very capable big guy. Notice we've got the 4 BMW drive modes here. They're a little different on this car. If you go all the way down, you get to Eco Pro. Really dials off the responsiveness and maximizes your economy. And then you get your sports setting, your sole sports setting on this car, which is Sport Plus, and that also turns off your traction control. And once we do that, we really get to have some fun here in these corners. Both these cars are admirable performers, of course, with urgent onset of power, but not ridiculous power. Driving them side by side, I came to notice a distinct difference. When you hammer the Audi, it peels back the sporting pretenses to become more of a luxury car. In the BMW, the luxury veneer comes off to reveal more of a sporting car. I know the Audi has Quattro and the BMW just has casters in front, but in a street fight, I'm going to pick up the BMW keys. Okay, pricing. The A7 starts around 60 grand, the 640i Gran Coupe around 76. But on the Audi, you have to option in the nav system and a few other niceties that are standard on the BMW. So comparably equipped, the difference dissolves to a handful of thousands. Bottom line, both these cars justify the concept of a four-door coupe. Each is a showcase of almost every kind of car tech. Audi needs to get Bluetooth streaming, BMW needs to get on Android. So which one goes in my driveway? Well, like you, I spend far more time getting around than driving for sport. So the A7 wins by a no, especially since I could probably bring it home at a lower cost.